Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here again, sharing what we are doing in Mexico with regards to ecotourism and sustainable tourism. If you can help me, the next one, please. As you know, Mexico is one of the top 10 destinations in the world. At least this was pre-COVID, according to UNWTO statistics. Last year we were in like the top 3, but we should take that with a grain of salt because most countries were closed, so those statistics are a little bit skewed. We are the 5th mega diverse country with 35 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, of which 7 of them are natural sites. We have 182 natural protected areas, over 19,000 endemic species, 535 endangered species, and 44 biosphere reserve sites, all of which, or most of them, are open to the public. And they are very popular destinations because of all the activities that you can do in nature, from bird watching, hiking, climbing, even environmental workshops, kayak, photography, etc. And thus we have developed within those natural protected areas touristic services, including accommodation, food, drink, tourist guide, camping, etc. Another great factor of attraction for tourists to these areas is the local communities, especially the indigenous communities that live there, and increasingly their relationship to nature and their environment is becoming a very important pull factor. It started with the wellness sector, but I think it's becoming more and more attractive in terms of the cosmovision of these cultures. And this is why, with the current administration, we are moving from a model of massive tourism that is unsustainable, has been unsustainable up until now, where we have concentrated most of our tourists in only a few places. Therefore, the revenue is also concentrated in very few hands. And we have seen that this is not good just for tourism, but also for the environment. So we are working towards a model of more responsible tourism, more sustainable tourism, like the ambassador of Costa Rica was explaining, where visitors are distributed according to the capacity of the destinations, where we are more connected to the local communities as service providers, and therefore income is more equitably distributed. And this is why our model is called, this is a presidential commitment, and also a commitment from our Minister of Tourism. Our model is called México Renace Sostenible, or Mexico is Reborn Sustainable, where we are focusing on social welfare and harmony with nature in order to fulfill also the Sustainable Development Goals, using tourism as a tool for those SDGs. And like I said, this model seeks to integrate the local communities where they are the main beneficiaries of tourism, from sharing their experiences, their worldview. You can do like different activities, like you can see here, from candle making, or collecting honey, or just staying with indigenous communities. This is a collective effort where not only national institutions involved in tourism participate, but also those related to forestry, research, of course all the private sector, social sector, academic and international cooperation agencies. So I will talk very quickly about our 9 foundational projects. As you can see, they are very closely related to different SDGs. The first one is the Roads of the Mexican Renaissance. We are trying to promote hiking trails throughout the country, where participants can enjoy not just the trail itself in terms of what they can see of the environment, but also coming into close contact with the peoples who live there, local communities, indigenous peoples, their history, their gastronomy, etc. The first one that we are developing is called the Muktizuma Fish Relay Race. It is based on this part of history. Muktizuma was the last Aztec emperor, and he liked to eat fresh fish every day. So he had messengers bringing fish from Veracruz in the Gulf of Mexico all the way to Mexico City. And this trail will recreate that journey. It can be done by walking, running, or bicycling. You visit several heritage sites, magical towns, and it's a very nice route actually to cover. We have one that unites the Gulf of Mexico with the Pacific Ocean, and one that goes from the northern Pacific to Mexico City. The Sustainable Tourism Strategy seeks that by the year 2030 we will have a tourism that is more inclusive, fair and responsible, socially, economically and environmentally. And this will encompass all of the different projects that we are developing in this sector. This is another project. This is a smaller one. We are providing direct funds to small medium-sized enterprises, cooperatives, social ventures to help them recover from the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is a first edition that hasn't been implemented throughout the country, but we want to extend it to all 32 states. The Isthmus of Tehuantepec is the narrowest part of Mexico. It goes from the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean. Traditionally, this has been an area that has not been economically developed for many, many years. So with this specific project, we want to use tourism and the natural cultural attractions of this area of the country in order to redress this imbalance and make it better connected and more developed. In a similar sense, we are having the Sustainable Tourism Development Zones, which are clearly geographically delimited areas that will be focused on green tourism in all aspects. Also, the tourism zoning program, which seeks to achieve order and sustainable use of touristic resources that we already have throughout the country, so that we can better exploit those resources. Adaptur is a program that seeks to strengthen areas that are more vulnerable to climate change disasters. For example, Cancun is prone to be hit by hurricanes, and with this project we will seek to strengthen and protect not just the ecosystems that we have in those areas, but also the infrastructure that we already have, so that investment is more safer, I guess. And yeah, this is being implemented right now exactly in Riviera Maya, where Cancun is. The next two projects are invested in the protection of ecosystems. This one seeks to preserve biodiversity in the coastal ecosystems through more sustainable models of tourism. And the next one is the inland ecosystems, where we are linking to shared landowners and forestry to provide better services for people, especially in mountainous areas. Finally, we have the Chroniclers of the Mexican Renaissance. This will be a series of guidebooks that are based on the histories that have been recovered by local historians in smaller communities, so that we don't just have one guidebook speaking about all of Mexico, but several different books relating very local histories, traditions, gastronomy, legends, etc. And finally, we are creating a TV show to share with Mexican population, but also with tourists around the world, the advances that we are making in ecotourism and sustainable tourism through all of these projects. Once again, I would like to thank TIES and all the organizers of this event for the opportunity to share a little bit of what we are doing in Mexico. Thank you very much.